Hey, it's Rachel, and in this video, I am going to show you how I, earlier this month, got 6,364 downloads of my book, how I got to number 65 in Kindle, and how I was able to generate hundreds of opt-ins. Now, if you've been following me for a bit, you know that I recently mentioned how I don't really love Kindle anymore as a money-making kind of thing. I don't feel like I make as much money, anywhere near as much money as I used to, but it's still really awesome for getting lots of traffic. So, I only like to make videos or talk about things that I'm actively doing that I know are working, and I know that this is working for traffic. So I wanted to make you this video. It's something that you don't have to pay any money for getting the traffic from Kindle. And it's just, I think, something good for you to know for if you want to get more people to your offer. So there's nothing for sale in this video. I don't have anything I'm selling later on. Just consider this a case study that I really hope helps you. So here we are. This was actually a screenshot of the Kindle book that I had, and this was earlier this month. It wasn't even a month ago that I had my campaign, and it ended up peaking at number 65 free in the Kindle store. And you can actually see before I had my free day campaign, I was just very few sales. The red line indicates paid copies. So you can see not much. I had my free campaign. It was from December 31st to January 4th was when I had my free campaign. And then right after that, it shot up. You see, so 23 sales. And then pretty much ever since then, I've been selling at least a couple copies per day of this book. So it's not always like hundreds of copies, but it's a consistent couple copies. And I don't care so much about the money. You can see also I have the Kindle Unlimited, which is the blue line, getting some copies that way too. But those people are becoming subscribers, and I'm generating hundreds of opt-ins from this, and that's really what I care about. So the money's just gravy. So I'm just going to show you some of the different things that I did to make that happen. Also, in case, just for some proof, here is a screenshot just showing how many different downloads. So I think it was, so there's 4,828 downloads in January, and then 1,536 December 31st. It was the first day of the promotion. And it's two different lines because it was crossing over into a new month. So, first thing I did was, this was actually the original book, 30-Minute Happiness Formula, and it really wasn't doing very well. And I think now, I looked at it and I figured there were a couple reasons for that probably. Number one, when I look at the cover, covers with people don't always do great. I was just testing this out. I can see why it's hard to read the subheadline, and I decided to actually completely change the cover and see how that would go. And I also renamed the book, and that was just spectacular. So I changed it over to 5-minute morning boosters. You can see here this yellow is a bit brighter than the other one, which I think helps it stand out more. There's no more person in the cover. The subheadline is easier to read, and then the picture is just really clear. It's a clock with 5 minutes. And I think it's interesting here. I have 3.25 rating for this book under the new name and 4.71 under the old name. It's the same book, and on Amazon it actually has great reviews. So whatever, I'll just take the 3.25. I think Goodreads is it's a phenomenal place to get the word out for your book. So the first thing that I did after I changed the cover and I changed the title was I submitted it on Goodreads. And you can just go to goodreads.com, submit the book. You just do a search for Submit New. And if you're not using Goodreads for your books, you definitely need to, because Goodreads has many millions of people that are interested in learning about books, reading books, and studies have shown that actually more people make buying decisions for books on Goodreads versus Amazon. So it's just really spectacular for getting more people to check out your book. So change cover, change the title, added to Goodreads. The next thing that I did was I chose a launch date in advance, and I wanted to do it a couple days out so that I could do some things to prepare for it. And one of the things was I wanted to get my book submitted to some free sites. So there's different sites that you can submit to, and those sites will go and they'll email their database. They'll have websites that are letting people know that that free books are available for sale. not for sale, free books are available for download. And so I used myfancyhands.com. It's a virtual assistant service that I have, and I just had them go take the book and then put it into certain sites. Now, if you have Kinstant Dashboard, you can just use Kinstant Dashboard. You can also go on Fiverr and look for book submission Fiverr gigs and just have people go through and take your books and submit them to these different sites. It's really helpful to do that because I noticed that when I did a search for 5-minute morning boosters, I was finding myself all over the place. So you can see here I had the free ebooks. There was this site that featured me, and there were more things. Like when I was going through and searching, I saw that there were several other sites that had me here. So Kindle ebooks free, and Budget 101 for free, and there were different places. Who Said Nothing in Life is Free. So all these different sites went and basically featured my book for me, which was great. And then I also went on Twitter. Now, I have a good amount of followers on Twitter. I've been working with it for a while. But the thing is, even if you don't have a lot of followers on Twitter yet, there's a couple things you can do to get as many downloads as possible. So first, I like to have pictures on lots of posts because I know that pictures get shared and retweeted more than just regular tweets. Also, there's hashtags that you can use that are really, really helpful. So you just have to start typing in Twitter, hashtag free or hashtag books, and just see what Twitter starts to auto-populate, what different hashtags Twitter will start to auto-populate for you. I didn't even know a Freebie Friday hashtag existed until I started just searching. And you can see it did pretty well. I mean, it was retweeted 3 times, favorited 6 times, and so people were sharing the book for me. Then I did it again later on, and the thing with Twitter is, you know, I love Twitter. I think that it's actually a huge traffic source for me. And the thing is, though, although it gives you tons of traffic, the average tweet lasts, I think, 18 minutes. And so you need to post a couple different times throughout the day because it's not going to last very long in people's feeds. So I had no problem posting a couple times because I knew I was giving away something valuable. I think the book is actually really helpful. And so I was happy to keep mentioning it. And you can see people, the second time I posted, it was actually the same day, 6 retweets and 3 favorites. So here I found another hashtag free books that worked. So I used that one. Then again, I mentioned my book was number 94 at the time, and no shame in promoting it because it's like, again, I'm helping people. And I thought that if I let people know that it was doing well, then people would say, oh, this is something that I want to look at. So just kept on posting on Twitter. I also posted on Pinterest. Now, I am in love with Pinterest. I was not into it until the last couple months, but I think Pinterest is such a sensational marketing tool because, as I said, Twitter, the posts last for like 18 minutes. Facebook, on average, the posts don't last that long because there's so much stuff going through your feed, and those are both platforms where things move really quickly. With Pinterest, though, it's one of these things where, the whole site is pointing to other people's websites, so you get rewarded for linking out, and then it's a long-term content, so people will go through, check out your boards, and they'll look around for a long time, so your long-term content, like, people are going to go and find it. So I love Pinterest. Follow me on Pinterest if you are there, because I'm always pinning really awesome marketing articles, Pinterest marketing strategies, book strategies, all kinds of things. But anyway, I made this pin. I took it off because the book wasn't free anymore, so it's not on my Pinterest, but I just pinned this and got some people to click through and get the book there. And then also Just Retweet is really, really helpful. So Just Retweet is a site where you go through and you can buy a certain amount of credits. And the page that I was just on was just showing you it's pretty inexpensive. I mean, you don't want to spend anything, fine, don't. But I think it's really like $30 for 5,000 credits, for example, you can get. And how it works is you buy these credits and then you can pay people in credits to retweet whatever kind of message that you have, or you can get them to Google +1 your message. So any post that I ever put on here, I just do, I spend like 300 to 500 credits, and you can actually even specify and have people with a certain amount of followers retweet for you. So you can have anybody retweet, or you can have only people with 2,000 followers or 5,000 or whatever you want. And so that was really helpful in getting more people to see my actual offer. And so that was it. That was all I did to get all of these different downloads. I think some of the biggest things were changing the cover, changing the title, and also just submitting to those free sites and then using the hashtags on Twitter. I mean, this is one of these things, it's like, it's not hard to give away a free book because you're giving away something that people don't have to pay for. I think it's great. And then in your book, you can mention the opt-in and get your hundreds of opt-ins that way. You can mention your other offers if you want. So these things I think are just extremely helpful in getting more people onto your list. And then, of course, you have the great stats that you can use in your other marketing. And then I also thought I would show you a couple different things that I did to keep marketing ongoing. So one of the things was, I actually did this before free campaign, but I like to go and do my guest posts on highly trafficked websites. So I've showed you Mindbody Green before. But for this, I just wrote an article, and because my article is 5-minute morning boosters, so my book is all about just different things that you can do to improve your morning in 5 minutes or less. So for this article, I said flat out, these boosters are adapted from my newest book. And then I took some of the tips from my book and I just put that in that article and got in front of tons of people. So 1.1 thousand likes and all these tweets and everything. So that was one way to get lots of traffic. I also made a podcast about it. So the podcast got several thousand listens. I took the podcast, I put it into video format, and that ended up getting 54 views. So, maybe not tons and tons of views, but I think they all add up, and this is something that's going to help my book get ongoing traffic. I also put it onto other video sites. And then I just, on my blog, for example, let me show you. I have, if people go to rachelroffe.com/booklist, you can see here, I say you can find some of my books on Amazon here, and then I'm just always talking about my book list so that people can click through and find different books. I've also, by the way, just lowered all my prices to 99 cents because, like I keep saying, I'm just not making that much money from Kindle anymore. So fine, I don't need to. I'll just instead take the traffic benefits, which I think is spectacular. So I figure 99 cents is easier to get people to purchase. They'll come onto my list and do it that way. So that's everything I did. I'm going to actually make this video, put it on a blog post, and have all my resources under the video, so it's really easy for you to just click through and get access to everything that you want. So I hope that this video helps. If you have any questions or anything, just leave a comment on the blog post and I will be more than happy to answer all questions. And have a spectacular day.